There's a moment you don't always notice at first. You're in a conversation, and something shifts. You start choosing your words more carefully, holding back what you were about to say, replaying your sentence before it even leaves your mouth. Not because you're unsure, but because of how they might react. And if you've ever felt that quiet adjustment in yourself, and you already know what this is. If this hits close, take a second and subscribe. Not because you have to, but because this is exactly the kind of pressure we break down here. Most people think control looks obvious. Raised voices, clear demands, direct pressure. But that's not how it usually shows up, not in real life. Sometimes it's in the pause, the way they go silent after you speak, the slight change in tone, the look that makes you question if you said too much. Nothing direct, nothing you can point to. But your mind feels it. And here's where everything flips. They don't actually need to control you. Your mind starts doing it for them. You start adjusting, softening your opinions, explaining more than necessary, choosing the safe version of what you were going to say, not because you're weak, but because your brain is trying to avoid conflict, trying to keep the situation stable. Pay attention to this, it changes everything. That feeling you get, that tension right before you speak, that's usually the moment the shift begins. And once you see it, you can't unsee it, because it's not really about them. It's about the space your mind creates around them. You start walking into conversations already prepared to shrink, already filtering, already adjusting, and over time, you don't even notice you're doing it. It just feels normal. But here's the truth most people miss. That version of you, that smaller, more careful version, that's not who you actually are. That's who your mind thinks you need to be to stay safe. And the more you stay in that pattern, the more it reinforces itself. You speak less, they take more space. You adjust more. And slowly, you start believing that's just how things are. But it's not. Here's the shift. Not something you do, something you notice. The next time you feel that hesitation, right before you speak, just pause for a second. Not to fix it, not to force confidence. Just notice it. Notice how quickly your mind tries to reshape what you were about to say. Notice how it starts pulling you back. That awareness alone changes something. Because now, it's not automatic anymore. You don't have to fight it. You don't have to prove anything. But you're no longer completely inside it either. And that's where your power actually starts to return. Not in reacting, not in pushing back, but in not disappearing inside the moment. Because most people don't lose their voice all at once. They slowly step away from it, one adjustment at a time. And once you see that happening, you can start staying with yourself a little more each time. Not perfectly, not all at once, but enough to feel the difference. Because control doesn't always come from force. Sometimes it comes from what your mind starts doing in response to someone else. And once you see that clearly, you stop giving it away so easily. If this felt familiar, subscribe and stay with this kind of thinking. And more importantly, just start noticing those moments. That's where everything begins to change.